Visiting today with country music legend and singer Joe Nichols. We're glad to have you here today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Of course, we're excited about the album. So let's just start off talking about that because you've got a brand new single out. Tick, 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 tick. So I'm ready. Tell us all
Yeah.
about it.
Well, it's called "Good Day for Living." It's a fun song, man. It's a happy message. I think it's an uplifting message, which is kind of uncommon now. A lot of I don't know, bitter and anger out there. A lot of those kind of messages, but this is a very happy kind of message of being content. Even if things aren't perfect. I'm really happy. That's kind of a throwback country kind of sounding song. And I love hearing people talk about the new single as something that people would expect out of me. I think that's a big compliment. I'm kind of the same guy that I've always been. That's a
Well,
really
that's what I
big.
was going to say. You're kind of known for doing pretty upbeat, happy songs. I mean, you've got some of the best lyrics in those songs, and they're so clever, but they're also really fun to sing along to.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, we've had a good run with songs like "What's a Guy Got to Do" and "Tequila Makes Her Clothes Fall Off," and there's some good happy stuff. "Sunny in '75," and yeah,
Mhm.
this song kind of reminds me of a little bit of the "Give Me That Girl"
Mhm.
years 2010, 11. It's not that much of a throwback sounding song, but that's kind of the albums that this song reminds me of.
Well, I'm sure that just like everybody else, COVID has dramatically changed your life. And I know it's been hard to get on stage. So I'd imagine it's got to feel pretty good getting back out there.
It does feel great. I know there's a lot of uncertainty still in a lot of places. We probably will end up playing maybe 70 or 80% of our scheduled tour. That's just kind of how it's been going the last year or so. But it does feel so good to see people in person again and to spend an hour and a half or more with them when they're forgetting about all the stuff that's been happening, good, bad, or whatever. It's great to be back playing music and doing things that are fun again.
Absolutely. Because I feel like we really kind of need that. And
Yeah.
so did COVID have any influence on the title of the album? Because it's a good day for living. I feel like that's something we kind of need to hear too.
Yeah, I think it did have an impact on this kind of song for me. Like I said, it makes me feel good to sing it. It makes me feel good to hear it, and I see people's face when we play it live. It's just a positive song. Like I said, in a world that we're kind of a little negative right now about a lot of things, it just feels good to hear something break through that's positive for me anyway. Um, and that's a good feeling, man. I tell you what, I can get sad and depressing with the best of them. The sad songs make me happy, but sometimes you just got to feel good. Got to have a song like Keith Urban had a run of songs there in the mid 2000s that were just positive, driving, just really uplifting songs. And man, he that launched his career in the stratosphere. So like I said, it always feels good to have a feel good song.
Yeah, and when you're talking about Broken Heartsville, that's kind of a sad song, but
Yeah.
the lyrics are so clever and hilarious that it's still pretty upbeat and good. I mean, even when you're sad and you're listening to Broken Heartsville, you can still find some humor in there.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that's why the magic of that song, why that song was magic, is because it is kind of if you just read it out loud, it would be like, oh, this guy's pretty depressed, mad about it, but it's funny. It feels good. It feels like an anthem, kind of, raise your glass. Here's to the past, But yeah, I don't know. I think,
Do you ever accidentally say, "Here's to the past, they can kiss my something else"?
oh yeah, oh yeah. I've rambled on that a couple of times, especially in my rowdier days. Past, y'all can do this and this and this. Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, I know that you dabbled for like 5 minutes as being a disc jockey, and you were smart enough, unlike the rest of us, to get out of it. So, was that fun for you, or did that kind of give you the music bug even more?
It was a lot of fun for me. It did both. I wanted to be around the music business since I was very little, and I knew that for a guy that was my age, and I was 17, I knew that just getting into a band and all of a sudden going out and playing live shows, that probably wasn't really likely at all. Uh, but I knew that I could get close to the business and be in radio, and and I DJ'd a little non-alcoholic teen club there where I'm from, in Rogers, Arkansas. And so working at radio for, I don't know, 6 months, however long I got fired for
That's
not
how it
listening
always goes
to
in
it.
radio. Somebody either fires or quits, and you get to move up a lot faster.
Yeah, they've moved me up from running the countdown shows, which is basically hitting play, to all of a sudden I was doing overnights and then some spot stuff in the afternoons on the weekends. But I didn't play anything that my boss told me to play. He said, "We're today's hot new country. Please stop playing Merle Haggard and George Jones." And after about the fourth or fifth time that he told me to stop doing that, he ended up firing me. And
Well,
then the station turned to a classic country station. That's
oh,
not
so
firing me
you
the
were
whole thing.
before your time.
I
You
was
were
before my
before your
time. I saw the whole thing coming. Yeah, yeah.
Well, for you, what is the one song that got away? Whether it's something you wrote and somebody else recorded, or somebody presented a song to you and you're like, dang it, I had no idea that was going to be so awesome.
A couple come to mind right off the top of my head. I remember Some Beach. Somebody pitched that to me, and I don't remember why I didn't cut it, but I didn't cut it. And it was like, it was a huge song for Blake. You know, it was like a multi-week #1 for him.
I could hear you singing Some Beach.
Yeah, it was a fun song. I instantly regretted that. There was a song that Brooks and Dunn cut called "It's Getting Better All the Time." I don't know if you remember that song.
Yes.
Getting better all the time. Um, that song, I remember we had a ballad heavy album, and I think it was the second album, Revelation. We had a lot of slow stuff on there, and I remember that being a very good song, but I was like, I don't know, it just make for one more ballad on the album. And then I heard it, and I heard Ronnie sing it, and I'm like, man, I'm kicking myself for that. That was such a bad call. We should have put that on that album. Um,
Although when I hear Ronnie Dunn sing,
oh,
the Applebee song, whatever he's singing,
yeah,
he can make it somehow
yeah.
sound like a power ballad, like,
Yeah.
Celine Dion. And you're like, dang it,
Yeah,
Ronnie Dunn.
such a great singer. And
He is.
the last one was actually the "Who Are You When I'm Not Looking," another Blake hit that I recorded on the Real Things record, and I wanted that to be the first single, but the label disagreed, and they went in a different direction. And Blake ended up cutting that within that year, I think, and had a big hit on it the next year.
You ever like text Blake and be like, I could have done that and I might have been better?
Well, no, I
Although
don't
it's
think so.
Blake. I mean, he's like, what, 7 foot tall? That might not be your best option. That's like,
Yeah.
texting Trace Adkins, you want to start something in the parking lot.
I'd much rather text Blake something like that than Trace. Yeah, Trace is scary. Trace is a scary dude. Yeah.
He's also a guy that's of so few words, you can't tell if he's mad at you or not. I feel like.
Yeah,
So,
he sounds mad at you even when he's happy. Yeah,
and
but
even, I mean, and he's been shot, so we don't need any part of that probably.
and he's a. I think people should know that Trace is a very good dude, a
Oh,
very good guy.
yeah,
Very.
he's a man of few words because he only talks if he knows about something. So, I mean, I've done interviews with him before, and I'm like, "How's the album?" Great.
Good.
Okay, exactly. That's exactly how it goes. And you're like,
Somebody
"Do you
real
want to
good.
elaborate?"
Yeah,
No. Okay.
really good
Well,
album.
great.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But your new album comes out the 11th, correct? And the first single is called Screamed In. So what else can we look for on this particular album? Is it going to be mainly like the Joe Nichols we're used to?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's there's a good mix on this record. Of course, probably a lot of people say there's a good mix on the record. Um, but we got some country dance things on here. I'm really proud of. I don't remember the last time we had two-step music. Like it was two-step heavy on a record. So um, we got a song called "One Two Step Closer." It's very heavy on steel guitar, and it sounds like an old cha-cha a little bit. But so there's some throwback stuff on here, and there's some new stuff that it's really hard for me to sing, like Sunny in 75 was. It's kind of like, woo, that's holding out a note up here. A song called "Reckon" and a song called "Why Can't She" that are really, really, in my opinion, some of my favorite things that I've ever done. Like I said, there's some old school stuff. "Home Run," kind of a newer feeling Dallas Davidson song. And "Screened In," Neil Thrasher, man, what a great rockin' song that is, and what country lyrics to a rockin' kind of tune. It kind of like sounds like Southern rock a little bit,
Yeah.
which is kind of different from me. But yeah, some good stuff on this record.
Well, I'm excited to hear it. Before we let you go, I thought we would do speed round questions with Joe
All right.
Nichols. Are you
All right.
ready?
I'm ready.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee all day.
Always, or do you drink tea in the afternoons?
I drink tea sometimes in the evening. Yeah.
Sweet or unsweet?
Unsweet.
Me too. Tacos or pizza?
Pizza. Oh, you know what? Hang on a second.
That's
Uh,
tough.
yeah, I got to tell you, good pizza beats good tacos, but tacos in general are better than
They
pizza.
really, and you get, I mean, they're easier to just more compact to eat.
Oh yeah.
Basketball or football?
Football.
Football.
Uh,
Who's your team?
Football. I'm from Arkansas, so I'm Arkansas Razorbacks guy. Um, yeah, Woo Pig. I grew up in Rogers, which is about 15 minutes north of Fayetteville, 15, 20 minutes north of Fayetteville. So got to go to a few games, and I grew up watching the little white rat on what kids used to call. Hey, who were the little red rats on the TV? Is that your team, the Red Rats? They see the hog, the pig, and it looks like a
Right.
rat to them. So yeah, I grew up Arkansas Razorbacks fan. Yeah.
Mashed potatoes and corn. Do you mix them together? Do you leave them separate?
Well, I would say this. There's no problem in them mixing together. If they go
I mean, they're
together,
both
okay.
delicious.
Yeah, that's
You
exactly
can't
right.
go wrong here.
That's right. Rather
Dogs
have
or
mashed
cats?
potatoes and fried okra, though.
Oh, I do love fried
Those mix.
okra.
Those mix.
Absolutely. All right, dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Yeah,
Oh,
same.
yeah, dog person.
If you're not listening to country music, are you listening to rock and roll or like hip hop or what else?
Believe it or not, I am into books and podcasts. If I'm not listening
Yep.
to country music, if I'm not working out, when I work out, I listen to like 90s grunge stuff, Nirvana, Alice in Chains, stuff like that, and sometimes some more current stuff. But yeah, I listen to books or podcasts.
Well, that was our 7 questions, but I have to ask, since Screened In is such a fun song, are we going to be expecting, now the new thing is to have the dance. You have to have the dance that goes with the
Oh, the
song, and then
TikTok, yeah.
it goes viral because you're all doing the dance. So we're going to
Yeah.
look for Joe Nichols doing a little dance anytime soon. Are we going to leave that to your daughters, maybe?
Well, I don't, yeah, I don't know. It seems like if you'd have asked me that 10 years ago, I said, absolutely not. But nowadays I'm like, I'll try anything most once or twice, I guess.
Mhm.
But I don't know. I'm not near as good at dancers at this age as I was when I was like 18. So I
I
don't
mean,
know.
can't we say that about everything in our
Oh yeah.
lives?
Most things, yeah. I'm
Do
better
your
at being
girl?
lazy today than I was though.
Yeah, absolutely. Do your kiddos want to sing too?
They are all three good singers. Yeah. My little 9-year-old, she's an artist by heart. She's just got an artist mind,
Mhm.
painting, drawing, speaking, singing, music, all that kind of stuff. And my 7-year-old is a performer. Like I want to be the star of the show. I'll sing if I have to. I'll act if I have to, but I'm the star.
Yeah.
That's kind of her role. But oh yeah, house full of singers.
How do we know when they're better than us? Like, when do we get to that point where, I feel like I watched James Otto's daughter, Ava, perform, and I was like, oh, James, she
It's
might
better
have
than
you
that.
on that one.
Oh well, as good as technology is kind of training all of us to be better singers by ear,
Yeah.
kids nowadays are listening to a super, super fine, perfected, tuned vocal on just about anything they hear. So kids are naturally being trained to have laser pitch, better
Mhm.
than ever before anyway. So I don't know, they probably all will be better than us. Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like there's a very distinct difference. Back in the day, I feel like we could say, oh, he's a vocalist or he's a stylist. We
Right.
had those stylist singers like Willie Nelson, who's incredible, but
Yeah.
not as much vocal range as, like, say, Merle Haggard. And now
Right.
I don't know that you hear the stylists as much anymore.
Yeah, I'm with you. And rarely do you have like a George Jones that was both,
Right.
a singer that also had a very distinctive style. I think nowadays, Bobby Braddock, a guy who wrote He Stopped
Mhm.
Loving Her Today, as a matter of fact, he had a great insight on this. He said that, nowadays to have a distinctive voice is more valuable than anything else.
Mhm.
Being able to sing is kind of relative now because there's so much help in technology, that having something that's recognizable
Right.
is more valuable than having more chops or being better,
Right.
better. So I thought that was very interesting. I think he's dead on. Having something that's distinctive is more valuable than anything.
Right. Because I feel like we could listen to a lot of new country artists that are just coming out, female or male. And if they're
Right.
not distinct, they all just kind of float together. But you have a
Right.
very distinct voice and a very distinct style. So when we hear you, we're like, oh, there he is. There he is.
I appreciate that very much. That's the best compliment I could get right there. Is if people knew that was me, that recognized that my sound. That's very very nice of you.
Well, where can everybody download? Because now, there's a million ways to get music. So if
Yeah.
they want to get their hands on Joe Nichols coming out on February the 11th, how do they do that?
Well, I would say iTunes. We have a Spotify on there that we do pretty well with. Boy, I don't know. The label would kill me if I didn't answer this correctly. I don't know. Spotify, Pandora,
Just basically
iTunes,
anywhere you can stream
anywhere,
music.
Amazon Music, anywhere you can stream music. Yeah,
JoeNichols.com.
yeah. Or I'll send you one in the mail. Yeah.
Either way. Well, where are you headed? I know you're going to be up in our neck of the woods coming up in March,
Yeah.
playing at the Apache Casino. I think that's on March the 4th. So we're excited to have you back in Oklahoma.
Yeah. Is that Siloam?
I think
Springs?
so.
Okay. Well, that's gonna be good to get up that way. Like I said, I'm from up near there, so I'll have some family and friends up there for those shows for sure.
Any songs with artichokes? Any more coming up in your repertoire?
I thought that was pretty unusual to have that one. Yeah.
Aren't you still the only guy that has it?
As far as I know, I've never
Yeah.
heard artichoke in a song at all in any
Yeah.
genre. Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, we're talking about all I did was break her eggs and bruise her artichoke hearts. It's what's a guy got to do. But yeah, I thought that was one of the most original lyrics I'd ever heard. And I even gave you an artichoke award because you still should deserve that. You're still the only one.
Appreciate that. That's like another great compliment. I appreciate that. Yeah.
Well, Joe, we appreciate you taking time to visit with us today. We're glad you're back on the airwaves, and we're excited about new music, and we look forward to more from you.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you for your time today.